Hello and welcome to the Shallow Proclamation. And as always, I'm Sam, and today I'm joined by my very special guests.
Paul?
And
Thomas?
and we're taking a break from season 11 and going forwards in time to watch the new episode of the latest season of Doctor Who. So shall we get stuck into it, gents?
Yes.
Well, yes, we should. But before we do so, if anyone who's wondering whether you slipped into a parallel universe, into an alternate time stream, if you're wondering what the heck's going on, so are we. I don't know how did you get in here? Like, anyway,
Just jumped on the Zoom meeting and there I was.
logged in and here you were. Yes, so hello everyone. Yes, we are going back as normal to Doctor Who, but today we're joined by Sam. Hello, Sam.
That's me.
Well,
Hello.
yeah.
Thank you.
And
It's
Sam
lovely to
is
finally be here.
yeah. Well, it's good to have you on. Sam is a friend of both of ours. We both know Sam from sort of different areas of life, and but we know Sam's a huge Doctor Who fan, and he's sort of been commenting on things before. We live in the same area, so we know each other and stuff. So we thought it'd be good to have Sam on. We've all been threatening it for a long time, saying that we must get him on
Yes.
to do something, but we've been so disorganised we haven't got round to it. And then we all happened to bump into each other the other week in Hastings, and we said, "Oh, we must do this." And of course, with the new series starting, we said, "Well, this would be a great opportunity to do that." And so we start Ncuti Gatwa. Season 2 as it is. So yeah, we're about to get into this,
Yes.
a new season. And Sam, so you have seen the episode, haven't you?
I have watched it. I didn't know that this was going to be happening, so I watched it on the Sunday with my mother. So I have a bit of pre-knowledge going into this. But in some ways, I guess that keeps up the dynamic of your channel of having slightly, some people having seen it and some people having not.
That's very true. Yes, actually, and we were chatting last night when we were out and we were at the pub together, and I said actually it's probably a good thing that there'll be things that maybe on second viewing you notice that might pass us by on the first viewing, because not only is it our first viewing, but also we're kind of commenting on it and taking notes, so it's easy to miss things. So I think it's going to be quite a good little thing. So obviously you can't give anything away about the episode. I don't know anything about the episode. I know the title, The Robot Revolution, I think.
Yeah. It's right there. It's right.
It's literally on the screen now, so I could. Yeah,
It's
that's
on the
true.
screen.
So it's called that, but I don't.
Sorry, I got quite aggressive. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, all right, cool it. And it's first time.
Comes here, he thinks he owns
Are you
the
excited?
place. Yeah.
Absolutely. Shocking.
No,
Sorry,
behaviour.
I realised I have come in quite strong after that
Yeah.
intro.
Don't make us put you in a waiting room. Like, no. So I don't know anything.
You have no
about...
authority here, Jackie. Yeah.
No, I don't know
Do
anything
I,
about the
actually?
story.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the season, really. I've not paid any attention. I've not been, as I think is the, many people will know if you watch the channel, we're big fans of Doctor Who. We love it, but we have felt in the last few years that it's not been up to its best. And I've said a few times, I find myself not even really looking at spoilers or looking for information about the series in advance, particularly. And in fairness, my dad messaged me on Saturday night and he said, "What did you think?" And I went, "Oh, I forgot it was on." So
That says a lot.
so that does say a lot.
Doctor Who YouTuber misses new episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah, no, so I'd forgotten it was on, but in a sense though, but I was thinking about it today. I am feeling excited about it because I always want it to be good, and I'm hoping that season 2 is a step up from season 1. I didn't feel season 1 was the sort of redemption for the show that we hoped it might be under Russell T Davies and with the new Doctor. Obviously, season 2 was made or written sort of at the same time, wasn't it? So,
Yes,
partly coming in thinking,
Yeah.
uh-oh, is it going to be more of the same? But also hopeful it might be different.
They filmed this, I think, in November 2023 as the 60th anniversary specials were going out. So
Okay.
blimey.
We had seen nothing of Ncuti at the time that they were beginning his second season. So, they really had no audience reaction to go off here.
No. And no opportunity
Yeah.
to adjust in the wake of reactions to the last season, I guess. Which also makes me think, because there's been a lot of talk, hasn't there, about whether Gatwa will leave at the end of this season. If this really was filmed at the end of 2023, and I know that they haven't even confirmed a season 3 yet, have they? It feels like a long time to be. It feels like a long time to be sitting on your backside, contractually tied up in a role where you're not doing anything, and I feel like it's quite possible he may go at the end of this season. Then, if that's the case,
Possibly, yeah.
But we'll see.
I mean, I don't know what to make of those rumors personally, but who knows? Who can say?
Yeah, Thomas, you got any thoughts coming in?
Who knows?
Yeah, no, similar to you, Paul. I mean, I'm excited for it as well. The reason I didn't want to watch it when it went out was because I thought it'd be more fun to kind of catch the live reaction here. But I'm glad Sam has seen it because he can kind of be our tour guide and tell us when to shut up at key moments. But yeah, from the trailer, and I know trailers aren't much to go on, but the trailer got me quite excited for this season because I was like, oh, okay, this looks like it's going to be tonally a bit darker. And it may be that they just adapted the trailer based on feedback from the last season and couldn't actually change the season itself much, but I don't know, maybe the plan was always that the first season would be a bit lighter, a bit sillier maybe, and then now it's going to kind of click into a more serious tone, like what we remember from the Moffat era and the first RTD era. I don't know, it's all speculation, but that trailer, I was kind of like, okay, if the series kind of pursues this direction, I'm cautiously excited for this. So yeah.
Yes.
I wonder. Go on.
Yeah. No, I think a new season is always even a little bit exciting.
Totally.
Even if it's following a season you've been unenthusiastic about, I think it's always a chance for it to be maybe a slightly different tone, or for it to start afresh in some way. You always kind of have that sort of let's buckle in and see what we get with a new season, I think. So yeah, I do always find myself getting excited for it, even if it's maybe not following my favorite Doctor Who.
Totally.
And I'm just wondering is there anything about the season we can discern, even from this bit of artwork on the screen here? The Doctor and, is it Belinda, who I think is a new companion?
It's a very small planet.
Yeah. Very...
small TARDIS as well.
So I don't know whether that's going to point us. I don't know whether that's actually pointing to anything that's going to happen in the series, but who knows?
Yeah, and you can see his
they
jukebox
might
in the background.
go to space.
Oh, craziness!
Yeah, it's not going to be an Earth-based unit series like season 8 of the classic.
I'd be here for that. I would
be here for that.
Oh, absolutely! I'm always up for another unit episode.
With the new unit team from the first Ncuti season. What was his name? Morris, the kid. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. Well, do you guys have any more to add, or should we dive into it?
No, I'm all good.
Wonderful.
I'm ready to watch some Doctor Who.
Ready to watch some Who. Well, guys, do let us know in the comments what you think of it. Do subscribe to the channel. And if you want the full commentary track for this, we'll put that on our Patreon. But without further ado, here is...
It will probably be mainly me telling Thomas to shut up.
That is highly likely.
Allons-y.
Yes. Oh, guys, I'm actually very excited now. Love it. Is that the star from the Christmas special?
I'm sorry, Alan.
What the heck is that?
It's like Thunderbird 3.
Yeah.
This is actually a Thunderbirds crossover episode.
Sophia Miles back as Lady Penelope / Madame de Pompadour.
Yeah. Ooh, brutal.
I can imagine that's going to get some complaints. Oh, here we are.
Cheers.
So, does Mrs. Flood move, or does Belinda live a few doors down from Ruby?
You won't see me.
Fourth wall break, like it.
Now, the Doctor hasn't yet interacted with Miss Flood much at all, has he, Mrs. Flood?
I don't think he has at all, has he?
She's always been there, and talked to the companions, but not the Doctor.
Felt like it had quite a Smith and Jones-esque start there with the hospital and another companion who seems to work in a hospital.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I thought iPlayer was buffering for a second.
It's a remix.
Yeah.
Punish.
It's funny, just looking at the subtitles, I thought it said Polish.
That's funny. It's like gadget all over again.
I like how the face on it has gone to a sort of angry expression.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Oh, crying again.
It's okay for people to cry, Paul.
Sorry about your friend.
Nice design.
Yeah.
Alan, what?
Oh, I said they got Alan lined up somewhere.
Yeah.
Are you alright?
Okay.
And you're right.
I've been better.
Fine.
I don't understand. I thought you moved to Margate.
Stargate. In the night, you were born to travel. Destined for me, Belinda, to the perfect wedding. Your mind subsumed within mine.
Planet of the incels.
Say yes, Belinda, or the violence will rage forever.
Alan, I can help you. I can separate the bioliths.
All that!
I'm sorry. I've got no choice.
Belinda, he won't stop. His anger will go on and on.
Face me! You will obey me. Belinda, now hold the diploma. My bride, join with me in ecstasy and freedom.
I love the effects in this bit.
Yeah. Feels quite classic era, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit Inferno.
Or the mutants in the cave.
Yes.
Or the Doctor's mind battle with Omega.
Yes.
The three Doctors.
But where's Alan? Where did he go?
I think he's microscopic.
Do you mean?
He's a sperm and an egg. Oh.
Goodbye, Alan.
This place is nuts.
Yes, Queen!
So harsh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe we are meant to be connected.
Like, this is destiny. Is that what you say to all the girls? Is that what you said to Sasha? She trusted you, and she died. You tested my DNA without even asking my permission. God. You're dangerous.
I'm sorry. Inexcusable. With both hearts, I apologize.
I am not one of your adventures. Now I'm asking you, Doctor, to do the right thing.
will take you home.
Thank you.
Something is bouncing us off planet Earth on the day that we left. But why?
Oyster Bell.
Doctor, I told you, get me home.
I am.
You are not.
No! This might be the long way round, Miss Belinda Chandra. Hold on tight, because this is going to be quite a ride.
Eerie.
I love how they didn't see any of that when they looked out of the,
Yeah.
like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
Crumbs.
Are we in Paris?
Oh, there's the diplomat.
We're in actual 1952.
Miami, Florida. 15 people went missing.
The movies keep playing to an empty house. Gives you the chills, don't it?
Get ready, because here I come! Ta-da!
There we are, gentlemen.
There we go.
Indeed.
Thoughts, feelings, emotions.
Go for it.
Well, I mean, I think you can safely say it's better than Space Babies.
Yeah, without question.
Space Babies.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh, there's quite a lot to take in there, isn't there? Yeah. I mean, definitely more positive than the start of last season, which is good. I think I quite like Belinda.
Yeah.
Seems a good kind of introduction. She seems kind of, taking her own initiative and kind of proactive and stuff. Doesn't seem like she's standing for much nonsense. So that seems kind of positive. I mean, I think there's a little bit of an element of, I mentioned she seems to be taking it all very much in her stride. She seemed not remotely bothered that robots had turned up in a house, really, apart from like, oh look, no, the landlord's going to do something, and it's yeah, it just I had this issue with the last season about the Doctor and Ruby being quite pally from about 2 minutes in, despite having no relationship, and I wonder whether it's just a little bit too quick on some of the reactions to things, and she's just completely fine with being in space and doesn't question it. Yeah, I mean, I thought it looked lovely. You had lots of good effects in it. The vaporization effects on the guns were great. The planet looks really nice. The sort of CGI of all that was really good. And Alan with his, the kind of prosthetics they had for him, I thought were really good as well. And yeah, I mean, I guess I kind of partly called Alan.
Yeah, I kept quiet when you said that.
Yeah,
I kept quiet because I didn't want to give it away. But
well, it's funny as well because at the beginning, because obviously it's got. Well, Thomas, do you want to go say anything before we dive into anything else? Just have some thoughts on it.
No, I kind of would echo what you say. I think, yeah, the ending I thought was really strong. We'll probably get onto that, but I really like that sense of like reluctant companion and that line. I'm not one of your adventures. I thought that was interesting. I was like, yes, that's a good tension to introduce. She wants to get home the whole time, and the Doctor is struggling to get her home. But yeah, I think someone pointed out in our Discord that often when you've only got 8 episodes per season, it's not a huge amount of time to work with, and so often the introductions of characters can be a bit rushed. And I would have liked maybe like at least 20 minutes just with her going about her everyday life on Earth, kind of getting to know her that way. And it's kind of straight in with the robot stuff. But yeah, I would agree with what you said in general, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, and it was interesting that it felt to me, there was a number of times I was thinking to myself, this feels like a bit like we're retreading old ground here. Like I said, at the beginning, it felt like, you've got this hospital setting, a companion who's, got a medical background, a bit like Martha. And then there's this kind of, I keep meeting this person, she looks like so-and-so. It's very Clara-esque, the impossible girl and all this. So, but I quite liked how they sort of subverted that expectation at the end by kind of flipping it so that she's like, actually, I'm not one of your adventures, like you said. I wonder whether that's a deliberate thing to kind of make you feel like that. You're supposed to kind of go, oh, this just feels like we're doing the same thing again. And then them to go, no, we're not doing that, you know, or the character's not having any of that. So I don't know if that is deliberate, but yeah, I thought that was good. Yeah, the general sort of story was okay, you know. Not too bad. I did almost say at the beginning, like when Alan was there, and they were on the bench, I almost used the word, he's a bit of a simp. You know what I mean by that? Like, just sort of, he comes across, you know, there was nothing very sort of, a little bit pathetic. There was nothing sort of very alpha male about him, but I thought better of saying it because I thought, you know, first of all, that's probably, you know, you don't need to be that kind of figure. But then it actually sort of became a plot point.
Planet of the Incels.
Planet of the
Incels. Yeah. That should have been the title.
Yeah, and I had to...
that would have generated a stir, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest. And it's interesting because it has that kind of theme underneath it. And I mean, this is where you get... I think a strong theme underneath it of him being that sort of character, if they hadn't felt the need to say Planet of the Incels, and to say you've taken coercive control of the planet, as if we couldn't work that out, you know. It feels that to me feels too on the, you know. So very much have that character, because like I said at the very beginning, there was already something I thought he doesn't feel right, and clearly then it becomes the case that he is this kind of figure that is, you know, this incel-like character. And I think that works really well. But the fact that they had to say it out loud, maybe just go, that felt like and I said to you last night, Sam, when I saw you, I hadn't read anything about this, but I'd seen a few reviews, like just the titles, and it said something, but I can't remember the exact line. It said something very positive. It was a Radio Times review, positive about the episode, and then it said, but with a preachy subtext. And I kind of rolled my eyes and thought, oh no. And I have to admit, there was a little bit of that. I understood that watching this, because I thought, there is that subtext there. And it would have been fine if you hadn't felt the need to kind of go Planet of the Incels. I'm like, it's not exactly adolescence, is it? This, you know, like, let's be honest, like, we're not, you know. Keir
Starmer will call it a documentary and say that
every school must have access to this. So I totally applaud the idea of you doing that, and I think it's very relevant in today's society, as sort of adolescence is as well. You know, obviously this isn't quite as hard hitting as that, and neither should it be because of the age. You know, the show is it's a family show. It's not aimed at that kind of thing, and I think it's great for the show to absolutely have those things running through it, because as we find as we go through the classic era, Doctor Who has always had those sort of things, some of them more overt than others. You know, we've just done the Green Death not long ago. That's very on the nose.
Absolutely.
But a lot of other things are sort of just, you know, relevant to, you know, they don't feel the need to say it out loud necessarily, but you can kind of see how there were these concerns at the time about certain things going on in the world, and that's bled through into the stories. So I think that's really good. I think I've got a lot of time for that. I just wish they almost hadn't said that. Even I noted down the point where at the end they said, the robot said something like, you know, we're going to put everything right and do reparations. And I thought, it's just all a bit on the nose, you know, like it just feels a bit trying to be a bit too right on, you know. Again, you just didn't need to say it out loud. You could have just let it be, and people can then discuss the themes without having to be told, guess what, this is the theme.
For anyone at the back.
Yeah. But, you know, other people probably won't have an issue with that. So,
yeah. What did you think of it, Sam? Seeing it again, did it hit differently on second viewing? Anything you didn't notice first time around, or?
I mean, it's a similar kind of reaction. I mean, do you want to know my positives first or my negatives?
As and when, as you feel.
As I went, because it's a lot of similar points to to you, Paul. I mean, the overarching thing, well, kind of first thing, I wanted to know how I felt about it, and was kind of certain of after the episode is that I like Belinda. I think she's had a strong start as a character, and yes, there could have been more character development, as you were saying, Thomas. But kind of when I think back to how I felt after I watched The Church on Ruby Road, I felt very unsure and kind of like, yeah, Ruby, I just didn't, I didn't feel like I wanted to watch more episodes with her in, being fully aware that I had a whole season of her ahead of me. But with Belinda, I feel like I would like to see more of this character. Because I had that feeling as well that you had, Paul, that, if you look at Space Babies, the far inferior season opener, the Doctor and Ruby do feel like they've been friends forever, and there doesn't feel like there's any bedding in period. It's like she already knows him. Whereas with this, it feels like there is a certain reluctance to Belinda. She just wants to go home. This is all a little bit, as much as she might be taking it in her stride, there's still a sense of this. This is out of her normal comfort zone. She's got a job she wants to start. So they're kind of setting up a character arc that could go somewhere, Whereas I think if you start it with them being like best friends, it's like, well, you can't really do anything with that now, because you've sort of started at the point that, in my opinion, you should have ended up at. So I think, I think I'm feeling positive about that character. But on character development, I think, again, it's the problem with having a season of 8 45-minute episodes. Much as this episode absolutely raced past, and both times I watched it, I was not aware of looking at the time or anything like that. They try to cram a lot in. And I think, much as, we're clear the kind of character he is, there's kind of a lack of character development with Alan. It's like he's there at the beginning, and then he's not in it, and then suddenly he's back, and it's this big reveal. But I think a little more character development with him might have made that moment a little more powerful, perhaps, for me. Also, like the whole it's not AI, it's Al, was just a little bit too close to it's Sue tech. Just makes you think how many variations of just ordinary names, is Rusty is going to do. So I would have liked a bit more character development with him. And then I kind of mentioned it when we watched it, but and noticing it more the second time, it felt even more obvious. The fact that they established that actually every ninth word he is kind of pleading and he's in a lot of pain. And then he dies, and the Doctor's immediately like, bye, Alan. Which seems very kind of harsh. I kind of think that should have been a sadder moment, and also the character of Sasha 55, it's like there's no character development with her, really. We hardly see her, and then we're supposed to feel something for her death for the rest of the episode. So I do think if this had been a bit longer, even like another 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, we could have established a lot more of that. And there's other things, I was going to use this second time watching it to really focus on, I wasn't making a lot of comments because I wanted to focus on the plot, because so much of it races by like that. But there are things that are glossed over and not explained. At the end where he's like, oh yeah, I fixed the time fracture. And you're sort of like, when? How? What did you do? How did you fix the time fracture? That felt a little bit lazy to me. So I think most of my issues with it are to do with the quick pace of it and cramming in things and not having enough character development. But as a season opener, I think it was fun. I think it was a decent story. That all of that aside, is not too difficult to follow. Um, I I personally didn't. Yeah, I mean, there's a certain preachy subtext, but having lived through the Chibnall era, I sort of I can push that to the side because it wasn't Orphan 55 again. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, overall, I think I'm pretty positive. I feel like I didn't hate it, and at the moment, that is a minor victory when it
Yeah,
comes
yeah. That's the level we're at with the show at the moment.
maybe that's a little bit harsh, but I got to the end of it, and I feel like I've watched not a great but a solid episode of Doctor Who. And at the beginning of a season, you're kind of giving us a bit of hope that actually they've got room, therefore, to go somewhere interesting. And they've set up a pretty interesting mystery at the end as well, with the whole, why can't they go back to the 24th of May? What is it about Belinda? And as Paul was saying, they've done those themes before. But I am nonetheless interested to see where it goes. It's maybe want to watch the rest of the season, whereas Space Babies maybe want to never watch an episode of Doctor Who again. Maybe not that bad, but it was nowhere near as embarrassing as that was as a season opener. I would argue. If this had been the opener to season 1, I would have felt more positive about the era ahead of me. So yeah, those kind of in a nutshell, me brandishing my pen but collecting my unwritten down thoughts.
Yeah,
that would be what I would say about what we just watched.
That's really nice. The floating landmarks in space as well. Intriguing to find out what's going on there.
Yeah, maybe that should have been the title. Landmarks in space.
Space landmarks. One minor thing: the opening.
Planet of the Incels and landmarks in space.
The opening reminded me a bit of La La Land. The musical number that they do overlooking the city. What's it called? Another night.
Yes.
A lovely
Is
night.
it oh yeah, what a waste of a lovely night or whatever.
With the lamppost and sorry, that's right.
The lamppost,
See, I've not seen that immediately, and my immediate thought on seeing that opening was Narnia. With a lamppost.
Okay, yeah, there is a lamppost in Narnia.
So. The Lion, the Witch, and the Planet of the Incels.
In the Incels, yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing that did work, I think, what you pointed out there, Sam, is that in terms of what it does to Ncuti's Doctor, I think part of my issue with, because I kind of like him in the sense that I think he can be a good Doctor. I just don't think the previous season served him especially well, because it just felt like he never went challenged. Basically, he kind of just strolled around like he owned the place, which is kind of what you want from the Doctor, but you want to see failure.
In a quarter of it.
Yeah, he was in a quarter of it. And he was kind of came across as being maybe a little bit arrogant, a little bit condescending, just kind of, it always sort of panned out as he wanted. Whereas I think this relationship with Belinda is going to help with that, because you saw his face kind of fall where she sort of challenged him there. You check my DNA records without asking me. And he's kind of like, oh yeah, man, maybe I've crossed a line here. And I think it's good to have those moments in the Doctor, like the vulnerability in the sense of, oh, this is a fallible character.
Yeah, I think if you're setting up a Doctor and companion relationship as well, you kind of want to get the sense that the Doctor needs a companion. And I think if he's being unchallenged, you kind of feel like, well, it's just kind of human exposition, whereas kind of in moments that the Doctor might be reined back, or challenged on something, you go, well, actually, maybe he does need someone else, and it kind of sets up a more equal dynamic in that way.
Yeah. No, I think it's good that they did the you say the bit at the end there where his face sort of falls and she sort of called him on that, because you could tell he was getting excited about this whole thing. Like if you compare the Clara thing where the Doctor's got this impossible girl, he's not like dropping it in Clara's face, and he keeps it from her. It's not kind of something he's it's not like, oh, this is my great adventure, although he is excited to go and discover what's going on. So I think that's right. And like you say though, the bit you mentioned, Sam, as well about Alan, like he's just spurring an egg. Oh, like, see ya, Alan. Like it's very reminiscent. We were having this conversation just the other day, weren't we, Thomas? Really, with the Green Death, where Pertwee seemed very, very sort of just discarded or very dismissive about that guy who got killed by a maggot. Like, but
we've learned a bit more about the side effects or something. But that felt so like out of character that it was kind of like, oh, they probably just got rushed on shooting that bit or something. I don't know. It was kind of funny.
I don't know. There's moments kind of throughout Doctor Who where, I don't know, it will just be odd moments, but there will be out of character moments for the Doctor where someone will die and or he'll kill someone and you'll go, wait, okay. So it's sort of like the Doctor is a peacekeeper until he isn't, and he doesn't mind. So I mean, but that happens with a show with a lot of different writers and things like that. There will be little inconsistencies. But I don't know. In this episode, it did just kind of feel like, okay, so we're just happy that he's died. I don't know.
No,
because it was quite a in-your-face kind of laugh that he did. There was no real levity in that moment. He just went, "Goodbye, Alan."
I kind of want to play it again. I'll see if I can find that moment. Keep chatting. Yeah.
I feel like the more I watch it, the funnier it will be.
It's after it's after they've done their explosion.
That was a good sequence, as you said.
Lots of good visual effects, through the whole thing. I mean,
visually, I think the whole thing is great. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Here we go.
Goodbye, Alan. Queen!
It's not exactly like in Boomtown, is it? Yeah. Not exactly Boomtown, where Margaret Slitheen is reduced to an egg and the Doctor says, well, she's got another chance to live her life. He said, oh, well, bye, Alan. Like,
because that's what I thought he was going with it. I thought he'd been turned back into like an embryo, and then the implication was, he's like going to start or something. We're going to see him in a little tank or something, and it's like, okay.
And that would have been fine. Even though they've done that in Boomtown, I think that would have been fine, and would have been, there's that sense in the Doctor of, the villain can live and have another chance, and then the robot comes on and just vacuums him up.
Which maybe points to the idea that maybe Rusty Davis just doesn't think people like Alan should get a second chance in any way, shape, or form. Like, maybe Russell has pronounced his judgment on these people, and he's decided that these people don't get a second chance. Like,
Russell T Davis has decided that all incels should be exterminated.
That's the message I've taken from the show.
Wipe them from the face of the earth. The only solution.
Again, it's not quite got the subtlety of adolescence, has it? Like,
oh no. There is a lack of subtlety. But again,
imagine if that's how adolescence ended. Oh, he's dead. That'd be a very different show.
I'm also, the thing we haven't touched upon is obviously, again, very brief, but we've got Mrs. Flood back. And I do think Mrs. Flood is the most intriguing element of the last season, and into this one,
Absolutely.
the sort of ongoing thing.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
much more interested in Mrs. Flood than I am even in Belinda. Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
think Belinda's interesting. Like you say, I am interested in seeing more of her in that story. But I do think Mrs. Flood is the interesting one. So, and again, we've got that fourth wall breaking type thing. So there's again this sort
That
of
is very much her
slightly-
thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
My understanding is that this is the series where we will kind of find out about the whole Mrs. Flood thing. So I'm hoping it's not revealed that she's important because we make her important, and that it's.
Oh yeah,
I think it's going to be. Is it going to be like? It's not going to be as you just said about like Sutek and Al AI.
Yeah, we're going to have to think about Mrs. Flood.
Mrs. Flood. She's actually an ood called
She's an
Mrs.
ood.
Flood. Mrs. Flood.
Mrs. Flood.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Mrs. Flood.
There we go. Yeah.
We're going to have to set to work on anagrams of Mrs. Flood.
We should. I'll do that. I'll do that straight away. That would be my thing. Like,
ChatGPT.
What is
Ask
the
the
most
AI generator.
obscure? What's the most obscure Doctor Who referenced character that you can make out of Mrs. Flood?
so, yeah. Can I spell the master from Mrs. Flood anywhere?
It's what's his
don't
name
think
from
so.
Enemy of the World, the guy who runs off.
Salamander?
Salamander, or the guy who's like, I must find Salamander.
Oh, Colin.
Colin.
Yeah, we love Colin.
What's your working
It's
theory
Grip.
for who? Grip. What's your working theory for who Mrs. Flood is, Sam? Or are you just rolling with it?
I don't know that I have a working theory. I think I mean there's been all sorts of rumors, haven't there? I sort of sometimes with these things I always worry that I'm going to guess it and ruin the episode. Because I knew quite a lot of people who had back years ago guessed that Missy was going to be the master.
Interesting. Yeah.
Because that, in my mind, it wasn't a huge leap, and then that was kind of, and there's been a few Doctor Who episodes where I've sort of quite quickly worked out what's happened, and yet somehow I didn't think of AI Al Allen. So that was the one that really stumped me. But yeah, I mean, I quite enjoy watching the theories unfold and seeing what it's going to be. A lot of people think she might be the Rani, which is a character you won't have come across yet, Thomas. But I am sort of sticking with, I don't think she will be, in the sense that, I hope that she isn't, because then my pride will be at risk.
Yeah.
And there was a theory about Romana as well, wasn't there? One of the companions. And I don't know if it will be one of those, or if Russell is just going to totally blindside us and do something really, really obscure.
Yeah, I'd rather it was something we couldn't guess. I was personally, I was very disappointed that Missy was the master, because so many people had already guessed it in advance that it was just underwhelming as a reveal, to be honest.
I think it was the first theory I heard. I think I feel like I remember after Deep Breath broadcast, just talking to someone just in the corridor at school who was like, I think Missy's the master. He was like, Missy, Mistress the master. And I think I rebuked them. I think I said, that's too obvious. It obviously won't be that. And then when it was, I was sort of like, oh, well, that you could have given us something harder to guess, Moffat,
Yeah, no,
yes.
I totally agree with that.
But she was kind of redeemed because she was actually, I thought, very good in that role. So that made it not matter as much. But you kind of want to be, I didn't watch it when it was broadcast, so I don't know how guessable it was. But you kind of want a utopia moment,
Yeah, absolutely.
You kind of want that Professor Yana opening the watch and then having that kind of slow dawning realization.
Or even like
that's what's happening,
Even the Ruth Doctor.
Yeah.
No.
Much as I don't like where that storyline went, I actually think that was a very good episode and a very
None
good
of us.
video. It's one of the no.
I was going to say,
I
none of
mean,
us
it
went
was
into
what
that thinking it's going to be that, did we?
no,
That's
no,
true.
not at all. So it was an episode that totally just blindsided everyone, and you're just immediately going, "What is going on?" You're kind of looking for a moment like that to come along every now and then,
Yeah,
and I would love for
absolutely.
Mrs. Flood to be that kind of moment, but yeah, we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows?
My only other thing really to say is one. Sorry, and people will disagree with this. I know my one other negative I have, and it's a negative about the last season as well, is I really, really dislike the fact that the Doctor is constantly in different outfits. That he has no
Yeah.
distinctive silhouette there's no distinctive look
Yeah,
for
no.
him as the
No, no, no.
Doctor. And for me, that really grates on me. It just doesn't work at all. I wish they would just stick him in an outfit and like keep him
Yeah.
in it.
Because individually, some of them are like, oh yeah, if you start with that, that would be great.
Yeah. But it's the flitting to and fro. He's got,
Absolutely.
like I say, there's no distinctive look. Every Doctor has had a distinctive
Yeah.
look, even if their outfits have changed over time.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
been certain things that have just it's been a similar one. It's developed or something. You think about how Tennant looked. Even though he had his different coloured suits, even
Yeah.
when he came back at the 60th anniversary, it was a sort of variation on it. Matt Smith had his sort of bow tie thing, and obviously various kind of outfits. Eccleston had a look.
Yeah.
Everyone's had a look, but Ncuti just doesn't have a look. And actually, I think that's
Yeah.
just, I just think it's not very good.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there has been costume variation with almost every Doctor, I would say. Tom Baker didn't always have the same scarves. He would actually have a couple of different coats. John Pertwee's look evolves over his era. And Matt Smith's costume changed, but they all kind of had the same feel to them, and it still felt kind of unique and individual and iconic to them. And they always felt like there was a reason that it changed. So Matt Smith's outfit changed a bit when his character became a little bit more dark, a little bit more serious. I think I've read somewhere that David Tennant would wear like the brown pinstripe suit if it was like set historically, and like the blue suit if it was set in space or something. I don't know how true that is if you actually go through and watch it, but it always felt like there was a reason for those little variations. But with Ncuti Gatwa, it feels like each costume is so different from the last one we've seen that we haven't had that moment. If you look watch the Christmas Invasion, when the Doctor finds that long coat, and you're like, great, that's our moment. The Doctor has found his look. Or even
Matt Smith,
when
the 11th hour.
Yeah, that moment, you're like, great, the Doctor has arrived, and we just haven't had that with Ncuti Gatwa, because you're like, has he settled on something yet? And I understand that that's a conscious thing that they're going for, but it just, I don't know, it rubs against me as well, I think.
Well, gents, thank you very much. Any final reflections of this season so far? One episode in.
I just think that I'm looking forward to the rest of it at the moment. I think that was a decent enough start, pretty solid. I think if I was to give it sort of out of 10, I don't know, maybe like a 6 or something. Like nothing exceptional, but not terrible either. Solid. See where it goes. Feeling better than I did after Space Babies.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
agreed. Same. Yeah, I think this is probably as strong as things like Boom from the last season, where it was sort of like not earth-shattering, but a solid episode that you're kind of like, yeah, I feel positive about that.
Yeah. No, completely agree. Yeah.
So I'm pleased you two didn't slate it. Me to be like, oh, actually, I quite liked it, actually.
Guys, let us know what you think in the comments, and do join our Discord if you haven't done so already. But Great to
And
see
as
you.
always,
Yeah, and thanks to Sam for joining us
thank you,
today.
Sam. It's been great to have you.
thank you very much for having me. I would love to join you again sometime.
Absolutely.
Maybe
I'm
a
sure
classic story would be lovely.
Yes, indeed. Sure, we'll get you back on. So
Marvelous. Thanks very much.
Thank you.